The doorbell rang like a thunderclap in the quiet suburban evening, shattering the fragile peace Alex had built over the last decade. He froze in the kitchen, spatula in hand, flipping pancakes for his daughter's dinner, their Friday ritual since she was a toddler. Who could it be at this hour? Not the neighbors, they knew better than to interrupt. Wiping his hands on his faded apron, Alex approached the door, heart pounding with an inexplicable dread. As he swung it open, time screeched to a halt. There she stood, Sarah, his ex-wife, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit that screamed power and success, her once familiar face now framed by the glow of a luxury car's headlights in the driveway. "Alex," she said, her voice as sharp as a boardroom negotiation, "I owe you nothing." "Wait, you owe me after all these years?" The words hung in the air like a slap, pulling him back into a whirlwind of buried pain and unspoken regrets. If you're hooked already, hit that like button and subscribe for more heart-wrenching stories that remind us life's twists can lead to unexpected redemption. Trust me, you won't want to miss the emotional roller coaster ahead. Alex blinked, struggling to process the apparition on his doorstep. Sarah looked nothing like the young woman who'd walked out on him and their infant daughter 12 years ago, citing dreams too big for their small-town life. Back then, she'd been a struggling artist with wild hair and paint-stained jeans. Now, she was the CEO of a tech empire he'd read about in magazines, her company valued at billions. "Sarah? What the hell are you doing here?" he managed, his voice rough from disuse in confrontations like this. He glanced over his shoulder, praying Lily wouldn't hear from her room upstairs where she was buried in homework. The last thing his 12-year-old needed was a ghost from the past materializing. She stepped forward uninvited, her heels clicking on the porch like judgments. "I've been thinking about us, about what happened. You think I left without a trace? You owe me, Alex. For the loans I took out in my name to keep us afloat while you chased your dead-end job. For the opportunities one sacrificed. I built my empire from scratch, but those debts? They were ours. And now that I'm successful, it's time you paid up." Her eyes, once soft with love, now gleamed with a calculated fire. Alex felt a surge of anger mixed with bewilderment. Debts? He'd scraped by after she left, working double shifts at the auto shop to pay off everything, including the student loans she'd racked up before bolting. But here she was, rewriting history, demanding compensation for a life she'd abandoned. Closing the door behind her to shield the conversation from prying neighbors, Alex led her to the living room, a modest space filled with Lily's artwork on the walls and photos of father-daughter adventures, camping trips, school plays, the kind of memories that had glued their broken family together. "You left us, Sarah. No note, no goodbye. Just gone one morning with half our savings. I raised Lily alone. She's smart, kind, everything good in this world. And you show up now, after all these years, talking about what I owe you?" His voice cracked, the weight of suppressed emotions bubbling up. Sarah sat on the edge of the couch, her posture rigid, but for a fleeting moment, her facade slipped, a flicker of regret in her eyes. As the confrontation unfolded, flashbacks flooded Alex's mind. They'd met in college, two dreamers in a sea of practicality. He was studying mechanics, she art and business. Marriage came young, Lily even younger. But postpartum blues hit Sarah hard, compounded by financial strains. Alex worked tirelessly, but it wasn't enough for her ambitions. One day, she packed her bags, whispering apologies to a sleeping baby, and vanished into the city lights. Alex had cried alone that night, then vowed to be both parents. He remembered the sleepless nights when Lily had colic, the parent-teacher conferences where he felt out of place among couples, the birthdays where he baked lopsided cakes to make her smile. Challenges piled up, losing his job during the recession, battling depression in silence, scraping together funds for Lily's dance classes because she lit up on stage like her mother once did with a canvas. Sarah's story emerged in fits and starts as they talked, or argued, into the night. After leaving, she'd hustled in the tech world, starting as a graphic designer and climbing ruthlessly to the top. Success came, but so did emptiness. Marriages failed, friends were fleeting. Recently, a boardroom scandal had unearthed old financial records, reminding her of the joint loans she'd forgotten, or ignored. "I thought you handled it all," she admitted, her voice softening. "But my lawyers say there's interest accrued, and with my profile now, I can't have loose ends." Alex laughed bitterly. "Loose ends? That's what we are to you? Lily's not a loose end, she's a person. You owe her an explanation, not me money." The turning point came when Lily descended the stairs, drawn by the raised voices. She was the spitting image of Sarah at that age, curly hair, inquisitive eyes, but with Alex's quiet strength. "Dad? Who's this?" she asked, clutching her sketchbook. Sarah's breath caught. For the first time, vulnerability cracked her CEO armor. "I'm your mom," she whispered. Lily's eyes widened, a mix of confusion and curiosity. Alex braced for the storm, but Lily, wise beyond her years, simply said, "Why now?" What followed was a raw, tear-streaked conversation that peeled back layers of hurt. Sarah confessed her fears. She'd left because she felt trapped, unworthy as a mother, convinced they'd be better without her. But success hadn't filled the void, it amplified it. Seeing Lily, hearing about her life, shattered Sarah's illusions. Key challenges surfaced as the night wore on. Alex revealed his own struggles, the loneliness that gnawed at him, the times he'd nearly given up, the resentment he'd buried to protect Lily. Sarah faced her guilt head-on, admitting she'd followed their lives from afar via social media, too ashamed to reach out. Resolution didn't come easy. Alex demanded proof of these alleged debts, pulling out old bank statements from a dusty box in the attic. To Sarah's shock, everything had been paid, by him, through years of sacrifice. "You owe me nothing," he echoed her words, but with a twist of forgiveness. "But maybe we owe Lily a chance to know you, if you're willing to earn it." Over the following weeks, the story evolved from confrontation to cautious healing. Sarah didn't vanish again. Instead, she visited tentatively, bringing gifts that felt awkward at first, a high-end art set for Lily, coffee for Alex. Challenges persisted, Lily's initial wariness, Alex's trust issues, Sarah's demanding schedule. One pivotal moment was a family outing to the park where Sarah had first proposed to Alex years ago. Laughter mingled with tears as they shared stories, Sarah teaching Lily to sketch, Alex showing Sarah how to flip pancakes without burning them. Emotional depth deepened when Sarah opened up about her therapy sessions, confronting the abandonment issues from her own childhood that had driven her away. Relatable in their flaws, the characters grew. Alex, the steadfast single dad, learned to let go of bitterness, realizing holding on to pain robbed him of joy. Sarah, the ambitious CEO, discovered that true success included mending broken bonds, not just building empires. Lily, the innocent bridge, taught them both about resilience and unconditional love. Setbacks came, a heated argument when Sarah missed a school event due to work, echoing old patterns, but resolutions followed, apologies, compromises, like Sarah delegating more at her company to prioritize family time. As months turned into a year, the family dynamic shifted. Sarah didn't move back in, that ship had sailed. But she became a presence, attending dance recitals, helping with homework, even co-parenting decisions. Alex found love again, dating a kind teacher who understood his past. The climax arrived during Lily's 13th birthday party, where Sarah surprised everyone by gifting not money, but a scrapbook of missed moments she'd imagined, filled with drawings and letters she'd written over the years but never sent. "I owe you everything," Sarah said through tears, hugging her daughter. "For giving me a second chance." In the end, Alex stood on that same porch, watching Sarah drive away after the party, but this time with a wave and a promise to return. The story wasn't about debt settled with cash, but with hearts mended through forgiveness. Life's twists, he realized, could lead to profound growth if we faced them head-on. For anyone watching, remember, no matter how broken things seem, redemption is possible. If this tale touched your soul, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more inspiring stories coming your way. After all, in the grand narrative of life, we all owe each other a little grace.